Say that's what we're gonna say tonight, right, Anita?
I think so. I think so. It's really interesting. So, over the last couple of days, we've been going through the 2023 housing forecast from Realtor.com, and so we've gone through each one of those areas that they have kind of outlined as these are things that, as real estate professionals, we all need to be looking at, right? And so today we're looking at the housing perspective, but we're looking at it from the home buyer's perspective. And so I got 3 points that I want to talk about here that I think will benefit everyone. And so the first one is for home buyers, there are going to be some benefits, right? So although it's not going to be a buyer's market per se, but there are going to be some benefits for home buyers that you can use inside of your promotion, inside of your marketing. And so, number one is there are going to be more homes for sale, right? It's more homes on the market that are going to be for sale, more options for your potential home buyers. Number two, there's going to be little to no extreme competition. So we're not going to have people coming in with offers 50,000 above the asking price. That's probably not going to happen. And then the last thing, and I want to kind of read exactly how they stated this. So they said the year ahead is not likely going to get any easier for first-time home buyers when rising rents and ongoing inflation are eating into their savings. And so they did a survey and they were speaking to renters asking them if they were going to be in the market to buy a home within the next 12 months, and nearly half, 44.4%, said they will not be in the market to buy a house in the next 12 months because they simply don't have enough money saved for their down payment. And so, what that immediately made me think about was now is the time as real estate professionals to start connecting with lenders that can take the different home buyers, the down payment assistance programs that are out there. You want to connect with them like right now so that you will know, hey, I know you don't have a lot in savings for your down payment, but here are some options for you if you still want to get into a house in 2023. Marky, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, one, I want to read to you something that Vincent Ruff posted. He is a 25-year-old real estate broker. He's Skylar's neophyte, attended Howard University. Now, listen, this is coming out the mouth of a 25-year-old, okay? One of the most fulfilling closings of the year. Let me just start laughing now. My client, who came to me as a renter, realized that after spending over $150,000 on rent over 10 years, could spend that same amount and build wealth while doing so. We found this spacious 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. In less than 40 days, my client became a homeowner with 2 additional bedrooms, 1 additional bathroom, and his rent is only $300 higher with $10,000 in equity,
Wow.
right? And so, with this additional space, if they wanted to, they could do an Airbnb. They could rent. I'm looking at the property. They could rent out the basement. There's so many things they could do, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't even have to be additional money, but they're creating that sweat equity for themselves. And so to me, this was just like, first of all, listening to a 25-year-old talk about the most fulfilling closing of the year. When we think about all of the different grant programs that are available, there's a plethora of them. Definitely, we want people to partner with their lenders. And for the first time, look, and I came into the business in 1999 as a loan originator. You do not have to be a first time home buyer. Look, technically, you didn't have to be a first time home buyer when they were saying it, but the mere fact that they changed the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't own a property as your principal residence. And so now is an opportunity that people should really leverage those grant programs and start layering the grant programs plus the ability to ask for seller concessions.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we're talking about marketing, Marky is really keen on doing videos, doing live videos. There go a topic right there. You could talk about the different down payment assistance programs that are available in your state, in your area. Right? And that can be a weekly conversation that you're having for free on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram.
But let's talk about the seller concession too, because if a buyer is leveraging FHA financing, they can ask for up to 6 points in non-reoccurring closing costs. So on a $200,000 purchase, essentially they're asking for $12,000. Now, a lot of the grant programs want you to have some skin in the game, but I'm reading the guidelines and some of those are $1,000.
It's
So
your
you
earnest
can,
money.
right, that's it, your earnest money, right? And so now you're getting the seller concessions, and so many of the grants are forgivable grants. You need to occupy that property. I believe most of them are right about 5 years. And at that 5 year mark, that second lien that was placed against the property will fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right. So
it's some
go
good
ahead.
stuff out here. And then of course, oh, let me let me say this. I would like to see what's going to happen in the rental space with AI, artificial intelligence. I've had two conversations today about AI, and even though I'm seeing a lot come into the residential side of the business, especially from a marketing standpoint, I would like to see how we're going to build out AI also in the rental space.
Mm. So how would that look? Because renters, that was my third topic is to consider having a strategy to work with renters, right? And keep that in your back pocket. You can get that extra half a month to 1 month's rent from those working with the realtors. But how do you see the AI working with in the renter space?
So here's what was kind of interesting today talking about in the AI space. So you've heard of the disc, right?
Hmm.
You've had the disc done before. I've had the disc done.
Yeah, I'm a
They're
major D.
now, huh?
My friends call me a major D.
A major D. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a I'm a big time DI, right? But imagine now they have AI that generates leads and tells you the possibility of that person doing business with you based on their disc assessment.
Mm,
Not that they've completed the disc, but because of their post, they understand their disc, right? Because there's just their personality traits that come out, right?
yeah.
And I was thinking, so there's a couple of companies that I'm working with right now. A part of their, oh, what is the term I'm going to use? Let me get the terminology together. I'm a part of their advisory board. That's what it is. And so I decided that AI was going to be the space that I want to grow in 2023. Divorces and look, listen to this. The disc assessment of divorced people, right? Right. Anyway, that's a whole nother level. And so in that space, right, understanding due to the language, the personality of the person who's going to rent, right? What does that look like? What kind of amenities do they want? But applying this to just a geographic area, especially a geographic area where people who the amount of money that they're paying in rent is equivalent to a mortgage amount. Just like the same way that Vincent took what was a tenant and turned that tenant into a buyer who didn't understand all of the options and the benefits, right? And then they could do, what is it? Property hacking, being
Hmm.
an investor, right? The new terminology. So I'm just thinking about how to use that information in, let's say, a 606 53 where I live, where rents are equivalent to a mortgage, or maybe you might have to move one community over where it is equivalent. Either A, I'm going to put you on a property, but I'm going to already know if you are buyer qualified.
Right.
And most of these properties, when we rent them out, the qualifications for them to be able to rent are equivalent to the qualifications to being able to buy.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And so then that takes me into the last point. That transitions in very well. And so in Marki's 6 and 12, so 6 figures in 12 months group, she sent out or she shared, and she may have shared this with the community at large, but she shared the NARS profile of home buyers and sellers. And because I love numbers, I love statistics, I got kind of caught in it, especially looking at the home buyers. And so one of the things that stood out that I thought would be pretty cool to talk about here is what home buyers or what skills and qualities do home buyers consider to be important when they're deciding if they're going to work with one realtor over another. And I thought this was pretty cool to just kind of talk about, so that, there may be some areas that, we talk about training that you may want to include in your training for 2023. And so let's go through this. It's not that many. So, what a skill quality that the home buyers are looking for is honesty and integrity is number one. 97% of the buyers want to work with a real estate agent that has honesty, that is honest and has integrity. The second one is they want to work with a real estate agent that is knowledgeable of the purchase process. 93%. 93% again for responsiveness. Return people's phone calls. Don't wait 3 days, 4 days to return a call. They want a responsive real estate agent that they're working with. The next one is knowledge of the real estate market. That's 91% of home buyers. And then now we get into kind of some soft skills. Communication skills. 87% of the home buyers want to work with realtors that have good to great communication skills. 80% want to work with realtors that have negotiation skills. 79% knowledge of the local area. 77% people skills. And then for those realtors or real estate agents that are out there that are not super, super tech savvy, only 48% want you to have skills with technology. So all of those other ones matter so much more. Marky, what are your thoughts on that?
I knew honesty and knowledge were way at the top. And here's the thing, everyone doesn't have common sense, nor do they have good discernment, is what I'm coming to realize. But your girl, I can spot untrustworthy people a mile away. If I avoid you, don't really get down with you, likelihood is I don't trust you. I just don't do non-trustworthy people. And what people don't understand is that people are putting your lives together right now online. And so you have to be very clear what you're telling a person. Recently came across a situation where one young lady doesn't like another young lady. I witnessed their interaction and their conversation. I'm baffled at the fact that young lady A does not like young lady B when young lady B did nothing but offer support for young lady A. First question I asked, because she was willing to help A, is it possible that A doesn't like her because she doesn't have the credentials she stated she had upon the meeting? Because that's the only rationale I could come up with for her dislike of someone who opened her heart and was willing to help her, right?
Right.
So then we start going and we start doing research and we realize that, people just, they're not trustworthy. There's no need in you lying about your production. The only people truly in our industry who can get away with lying about productivity is going to be a commercial broker. If you're with a big company, right? And you're in residential sales, there are too many systems that are in place. And your company get this, they want credit for every unit sold. Every
Right.
unit sold, they want credit for it, right? We know what you're doing. And I look up agents' numbers all the time and know that they're lying. So it's okay to say you ain't selling nothing. You're not doing nothing. Just like Skylar went back, which was the funniest conversation in the world, and he pulled my productivity from 2003 to 2007 and sent it back to me. And remember, we had a full-fledged conversation about this when we went up to Milwaukee because he
Right.
was like, well, I didn't meet all your clients. You was really selling real estate when I was at school. Duh, with no assistant. Get that, right? And so just tell the truth because your lies are gonna get put together for you.
Absolutely. There's a fundamental rule of any business, and that is people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Any industry that you're in, know, like, and trust. That's who people want to do business with.
And guess what? With social media, they get to put so many elements of us together that one, we need to be trustworthy. Two, we need to be knowledgeable. And now that I'm speaking about AI with one of the companies, I was like, look, I need to play with your tools and your systems because I never tell people to use tools that I don't actively use.
Right.
Right. So it actually gets me a lot of access if somebody wants me to do a type of affiliate program or anything, because guess what? I'm not going to tell my fellow realtors to use something that I don't know how it works and it has not generated leads, sales, compensation. I'm not going to recommend that because I wouldn't want somebody to waste their time. So guys, if you aren't registered. We want you to register for Hit the Ground Running. It is our 4-part business planning series. The beautiful thing is, if you can't make it to one of the sessions, yes, with the recordings will be available for 30 days after the conclusion of the course. When I tell you we getting ready to make it rain money, because we're going to be clear. Look, we're going to be clear. We've gone over all the stats. We understand the tools and the systems. We've leveraged a plethora of free tools to generate leads. We understand target audiences, right? We understand forecasting. We understand sales and marketing. And the joy is we've been doing it inside of the real estate space combined for over 40 years. And so, Ghana, look, click on that link to your 2023 business plan. And the joy is this is not just for realtors or licensed real estate agents. Anita and I both were former licensed loan originators. Heck, Anita, I don't even know, you might still have your license. I let
I
my
don't.
yeah, I let my
Nope.
loan originator's license go. And so we want to see you online starting this Wednesday night so that you can hit the ground running in 2023.
That's right. Every real estate professional needs a business plan in 2023. Period.
That's it. Go on and click the link, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night. Or better yet, scan that QR code. Y'all have a